Good evening, students. I welcome you again to my video on with part 2 video on literary devices. I have already discussed 5 literary devices with you. Now here I am with the 6th literary device, as we have all now learned that literary devices are nothing. They are just certain phrases which we use in our speech in order to make our speech more influential and understanding to the readers. For example, if I talk about pun is nothing. It's just a joke using word. It is not a direct joke, but the sentence has dual meaning. For example, she had a photogenic memory but never developed it. Then how come a person know that somebody is having a photogenic memory, but if she had never developed it, then how can a person know? So here photogenic memory is a joke, and it is used in dual sense in order to make fun of somebody's memory. It has been said. That's why we can say that this sentence is a pun. The next sentence is a boiled egg every morning is hard to beat. Now a boiled egg, it can also be said in terms of dual meaning. For if we are talking about certain individuals who are angry in the morning, we can say that a boiled egg every morning is hard to beat. And similarly, every calendar's days are numbered. Like in all the calendars, days are numbered, days are given numbering. So obviously the days are numbered, but then we are writing it, so it becomes a joke. That's why it is said that here figure of speech which is being used is pun. Now a dog gave birth to puppies near the road and was fined for littering. Now see, littering is throwing something on the road. Now again, giving birth and throwing, they are used in contradictory sense, and they are sounding like a joke. That's why we can say that this sentence is also a joke, and the figure of speech which is being used over here is pun, because there is a dual meaning to the sentence. Now, next sentence says, when an orthopedic started a new surgery, it was a joint operation. Now, orthopedic is a doctor who uh, whom we visit whenever we have any issue with our bones. So, when we say that um, when an orthopedic started a new surgery, it was a joint operation. A joint can be used in two different terms. For a joint can be something which is done by two people together, and sometimes it can be joint surgery can be used when an orthopedic is actually joining some joint in the body. So here also it can be said that the figure of speech which is being used over here is pun. Now pilots have easy access to cloud storage. What is cloud storage? Pilots, in the clouds. But what the cloud storage is, a memory is a memory software which is present in phones. So it has dual meaning, though in itself the sentence has no meaning at all, but just to make fun of something we have used the sentence as it is a joke in sense, and we can say that the figure of speech which is being used over here is pun. Now next figure of speech is litotes. What is litotes? All of you must be wondering why we are doing so many figures of speech. We are doing figures of speech but because in literature you might get certain questions where you might be asked to discuss certain figures of speech. So if you study from this video, I hope that every figure of speech would be clear to all of you. Now next is litotes. What is litotes? A litotes is a negative expression with an affirmative sense. When we say something negatively but in a positive sense, but it has a positive meaning, that is what we call as litotes. For example, he is not starving. That is, he had sufficient food, but sentence is negative. Not starving is obviously negative. That means he has had enough food and he is not starving. That's why I'm saying he is not starving. And the figure of speech which is being used over here is litotes. Now, you are not a beauty queen. You are not a beauty queen means you might be beautiful, but you are not as beautiful as a queen. It is not. It is a negative. It is a negative sentence. But again, the meaning coming out of this sentence, the interpretation of this sentence can be positive as well. Sachin Tendulkar is not an ordinary man. Whenever we use not, say words like not, never, then they are negative words. So I have said Sachin Tendulkar is not an ordinary man. I am describing somebody's qualities, that he is extraordinary. So I could have written Sachin Tendulkar is extraordinary man, but I have written Sachin Tendulkar is not an ordinary man, which means that he possesses certain characteristics which make him beyond ordinary. But still I am writing it in such a way that the figure of speech which is being used over here is litotes. I am writing negative sentence with a positive meaning. So here it must be clear to you what is litotes. In all the above sentences, though the sentences are negative in nature but positive or affirmative in sense. Is it clear? Hope it is clear to all of you. Now next figure of speech is repetition. Now, as the word itself sounds like, repetition means something which is repeated again and again. Any word or phrase which is repeated again and again is in a sentence, then the figure of speech which is used in that particular sentence is repetition. Repeat the same words or phrases as the name itself suggests. For example, I felt happy because I saw others happy, and seeing others happy made me happy. Now, happy, 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 happy. 4 times happy has been repeated. So, the figure of speech which is being used over here is repetition. Now, the next sentence says, the president said, work, work, work are the keys to success. Now, work, work, work has been repeated, so it means the figure of speech being used over here is repetition. Now, personification. Now, students, don't get yourself confused with personification and metaphor. Let's discuss personification first, and then I will tell you the difference between personification and metaphor. Now, personification is when an animal, idea, or an object is seen in human terms. For example, the fire swallowed the entire forest. A fire cannot swallow the entire forest, but just to create a sense of understanding among the readers, a sense of attentiveness among the readers, it has been written in such a way that fire has been given human character. He is being viewed as human being. So, the next sentence says, the sun smiled and chased away the angry clouds. Now, the sun cannot smile and cannot chase away the angry clouds, but just to make the readers more attentive and the statement more understandable to the readers, we have written it in such a way where sun has been personified and cloud has also been personified. They are spoken in human terms. They cannot smile, they cannot run, but still they are given such a appearance, like they are talked about in such a term that we can imagine them as performing activities like human beings. Next is, the car danced across the road. The car danced across the icy road. A car cannot dance, only human beings can dance. But since we want to make our sentence more appealing, more attractive, more influential and more understandable, that's why it is being written, the car danced across the road. That is, the car was moving from one place to another, but the car has been given human characteristic. Any object, bird, idea or object is seen in human terms, then that is known as personification. Hope now it must be clear to you. The angry clouds the angry clouds marched across the sky. The clouds are angry. The clouds can. It is not possible for clouds to be angry. They are not human beings. But just to make the readers understand more about rain and thunder and the intense weather, it has been written in such a way that angry clouds march the sky. So cloud has been viewed in human terms. That's why it is being said that angry clouds march the sky.